All right, it's 8:22 on this Wednesday morning, and it's the first Wednesday of the month. That means that we have the Foster County Soil Conservation District on our program here this morning. We got three guests this morning, and I'm going to introduce everybody. And then, let's see, we got Dionn Schaaf, of course, the Foster County Soil Conservation District Manager. Also, we got some special guests from the NDSU Carrington Research Extension Center in our studio this morning, including, now I'm going to try and get this right, it's Chanda, right? Chanda. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So Chanda Engel, she is a research specialist in the livestock program at the NDSU Carrington Research Extension Center. And also we have an intern joining us this morning, intern at the livestock program at the Research Center as well, Rachel Lasher. So good morning, everybody. How's your 4th of July? Well, 3rd of July actually going.
It's going pretty good.
Good morning.
Nice weather. Got any big plans for the weekend, for the 4th coming up?
Just go home and see my folks.
Yeah, that's always good. And get maybe some fireworks in there too, right?
Well, there was some talk about going to the Mandan Rodeo, but I don't know if Dad has time to go or not. So.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. So, all right. Well, Dionn, let's kick things off with you here. Dionn Schaaf, of course, the district manager for the Foster County Soil Conservation District. Dionn, what are we going to be all talking about today?
Well, I think we'll let Chanda. She's got some things to talk about with the livestock program, so okay. I thought we'd just let her start out and see where that takes us first. How about that?
You bet. That sounds good. So, Chanda, take it over, research specialist in the livestock program. You want to talk about what exactly is the livestock program there at the Research Extension
We're actually
Center?
a beef. The livestock species that we have there is beef cattle, and so we have a cow-calf operation that we do research with, and then we also have a feedlot facility, and so we do several projects throughout the year, both winter and spring in that area, and so we have. In the cow-calf, we have a long-term study that we're working on looking at dry lot versus pasture production in beef cows and calves. And so we're on year 5 of that study. And so we have some progress reports that are going to be coming out soon for the first three years of that. So people should be looking for that coming out in the North Dakota Beef Report. But the current feedlot project that we have in the lots right now is people drive by out at the research center, and they're always welcome to do that. Come look at the cattle and see what we have going on out there. We have the second year of the North Dakota Angus University project, and that project is a cooperative effort with Angus producers in North Dakota and our research center, and livestock producers can consign cattle to this program, and then it allows them to discover the value that they have in the genetics of the cattle that they're producing on their operations. And then we also then do a research trial, and it depends on the year. This year we actually have a research trial that's funded by the North Dakota Corn Council, and we're looking at 3 different fat levels and distillers grains against a control diet to evaluate the new as distillers grains are changing in the marketplace, they're removing fat, and so we want to see how cattle will perform with these reduced fat levels in the distillers. So we have about 10 producers that are have cattle consigned to this current project that just started about a month ago. And so we'll feed them out to a finish weight and then market them. So it's a pretty good program for us, and it's a great program for those producers to get that feedback. They get carcass data back. They get progress reports on the performance of their animals as we weigh them every 21 to 28 days. So.
Now, how many head of cattle do you have out there then?
We have right around 170 head right now in 16, across 16 pens out there.
And the producers, are they just from the area? They just bring the cattle in, or how?
They're across North Dakota. Okay. So, we have a couple local producers that have cattle in there, but some are from, quite a ways away. And so we just arrange with them delivery of their animals and how many they're bringing. And then, yeah.
All right. Sounds good. And then also you got the feedlot program, too.
We actually have the Research Center Field Day that is coming up July 16th. And there's a lot of things going on there. It's just not the livestock program that's highlighted in that. While we do have a tour for the livestock program, there's going to be several things going on. So in the morning, we have the livestock program review. And so we're going to be talking about not only this Angus University project that I just mentioned, but also going through some of the research that we've conducted in the last year and talking about the results of those trials. We also have the environmental management program is going to be doing some compost demonstration, and so I think that'll be really intriguing to people, and so I'm looking forward to seeing that myself. And then we have the Organic Research and Education is doing a tour as well in the morning. They'll have the crop variety and production review, and then the Northern Hardy Fruits Project, which is also a pretty popular and pretty cool program that we have out at the center. So people, if you want to see that tour, you need to come in the morning. And then we have lunch, of course. And then in the afternoon, we're having crop pest and soils management tour. And then Northern Hardy Fruits Project is doing an apple tree disease and management program.
Okay, and recap again the day, the times, and everything that's coming up.
So that's July 16th, and that will start at 9 o'clock in the morning.
All right, so that's Tuesday, a couple weeks from now. So
yeah,
anybody can attend, right?
Everybody is welcome. If you've just ever wanted to know what we do out at the Research Center, this is a great time to come out and see. And actually, it's a tour. So, I mean, you're going around and looking at stuff. So it's just a great time to come out and see what we do. Or if you're a producer that has questions or just maybe looking at doing some different things in your operation, this is a great time to come out and meet the people that are out at the center. There's a lot of us out there, actually, and we're doing some pretty cool stuff. So.
And you're north of town?
Yes, north of town. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Right off of 281. And also, I had a question too. Like, if a producer's listening and maybe they want, some of their cattle involved in the research, how do they do that? Like, do they contact you or someone at the?
We not only do we have the Angus University project, but there's the Dakota Feeder Calf Show, and that is handled out of Turtle Lake. But yeah, both that's a fall project, and this Angus University project is a spring project. So yeah, if anybody is interested in consigning cattle to either one of these projects, just call it to the Research Center and talk to Carl Hoppy or Dr. Vern Anderson, or myself, and we'll get you guys lined up for that. That would be.
All right, sounds good. Now we got Rachel Lasher as well, interning at the North Dakota NDSU Carrington Research Extension Center. So Rachel, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you going to college, and just start talking.
Okay, I'm originally from McCluskey. I grew up there. I went to BSc for a couple years. This fall, I'll transfer to NDSU to get a Animal Science degree.
Okay.
And from there, I'm not quite sure.
Okay, and then you've been interning at the Research Center for how long now?
May 13th I started, and then I go till August 7th.
And what are some of your duties out there right now?
I do a little data work. I help Chanda with that, some research, and I also help out down at the livestock unit, working cattle, weighing cattle, checking cattle out in the pasture, stuff like that.
Okay. What got you sparked and get into the cattle industry there? You grew up on a farm or in McCluskey?
I did grow up on a farm. We have a cow-calf operation, and just has always been interested in the ranching side of things, and I wanted to do this intern at Carrington just to get experience, and maybe it'll help me choose what I want to do later on in life.
All right, sounds good. Well, thanks so much, Rachel Lasher, intern at the at Carrington Research Extension Center. Dionn, what did you want to talk about this morning on the from the Foster County Soil Conservation District?
I just wanted to talk a little bit about tree care. Everybody knows it's been a while since we had some rain. That's the first thing I wanted to mention. If you've got new trees that you've planted this year, you really need to get out there and water them. I know they're supposed to be shelter belts, but the young trees are a lot easier to kill off than the older established ones. The recommendation is, if you haven't had water for a while, what the trees really need when the first year, they recommend 5 gallons per week per tree. And then the second and third year, it's 10 gallons every other week. That's what they really need to help get those roots established. Some other things about tree care. Of course, we talk about competition from weeds. You want to try and keep that down. And there are some options. If you're going to stick with tillage, you want to keep in mind that you want to keep it about 1 to 3 inches deep, and you don't want to go any closer than 2 feet from your trees, or you're going to risk damaging your roots. So within that distance, you either have to do it by hand or with hand tools, but you can use tillage. We put down weed barrier fabric, and that works really well, but it also still needs maintenance. You know, you've got that hole there where the tree's coming out of the fabric. You still need to hand weed around the tree itself, and with the fabric, with those holes also, you need to check it every few years, because if it's getting tight against the tree, it can damage it or even girdle it. So those holes do eventually have to be made larger. What we recommend is just putting a knife on the end of a stick, and you can reach in there and do it with that. If you're tilling or mowing, you want to make sure that you're not dropping a lot of dirt and debris on top of the fabric, because then the weed seeds can start in that dirt that's on the fabric and send roots down through it. So there you start losing the effectiveness. Another suggestion they have, a lot of people think this is a really good idea, is between your tree rows you plant a short warm season grass like blue grama, because that way you don't have to worry so much about maintenance because it's short, and they don't require water at the same time that the trees really need it, and they keep the weeds out, so they really do help with keeping the competition down. Some people like to use herbicides. Of course, you have to be very careful not to damage the trees when you're doing that. As far as pruning, you don't have to worry about it like you do with an ornamental, but you still need to go in there and make sure that your trees are getting a single stem. Otherwise, if they start splitting off into side stems, if you're getting 2 or 3 main stems, you're going to have a weak tree. So that is something you need to do to keep track of that. And of course, if your trees are dying, you know you're going to have a gap, and the windbreak isn't going to be effective. So we suggest that people check their trees in the fall and come and let us know what we need to order for them, so that we can have it for them to replant in the spring.
All righty. Well, good information there.
So,
All right.
I guess the only other thing I wanted to mention is we get a lot of questions about deer problems. In order by expense, the 3 ways you can control them really are fencing, individual barriers on each tree, or repellents. The fencing is the most permanent, but it's for deer, they really recommend that you have that fence 8 to 10 feet tall. Anything shorter, they're just going to hop over. So that's something you need to keep in mind if you want to go with that route. For individuals, if you're going with small seedlings, you want to probably use the tree shelters, because that'll let the light in and let them grow. But if you've got established trees, anything that will keep them, away from that stem will help, especially as far as buck rub. Some people will use tile drain or something like that. Wire mesh around the tree, something like that might help. The least expensive one is the repellent. The only thing to remember there is that during the growing season you're going to have to reapply several times, because usually it doesn't protect the new growth.
Okay. Well, sounds good. So we got to go this morning. We're running short on time. Let's recap everything. Chanda, did you have anything else that you wanted to add this morning about field day and anything else coming up?
No, I just want to say I'm just really grateful to have Rachel in the livestock program this summer, and thankful to the Corn Council for providing funding for our research, as well as for Rachel's position.
And remind us again when your field day is coming up.
It's July 16th at
All
9
right,
o'clock in the
9
morning.
o'clock. Anybody can show up. All right, north of town. Rachel, anything else you'd like to add this morning?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. And then Dionn, anything else you want to talk about this morning at all? Or
Water those trees.
all right, yeah, pretty important, especially we haven't gotten rain in a while.
Yes,
so,
yes.
Maybe this weekend, so we'll see.
We're hoping.
And check out the parade tomorrow, Carrington here at 4 o'clock, or 5 o'clock rather.
I'm going to be off on the west end of the state, so I won't be here.
You're going to be out of town. All right,
Yeah.
well, sounds good. Well, thanks so much, you guys, for dropping by. We really appreciate it. And have a good 4th and a safe 4th, too. So
You
you.
too.
Thank
You bet. All right, thank you so much. That was joining us this morning. We had some Carrington Research Extension Center guests on from NDSU, the NDSU Carrington Research Extension Center, including Chanda Engel, a research specialist in the livestock program. Also, Rachel Lasher, an intern at the livestock program here at the NDSU Carrington Research Extension Center. And, of course, Dionn Schaaf, the district manager for the Foster County Soil Conservation District. We appreciate them for stopping